Mental health is something that a lot of people struggle with. It's also something that doesn't get talked about or brought up that often. For some, it's because it's difficult to talk about or it's just really personal to them. For most others, it's because they just don't want to acknowledge that it exists. As you may or may not know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. The aim of this video is to bring awareness to mental health and share the stories of people that have struggled with it and how they are able to continue on with their lives despite the challenges that mental health has provided for them. Mental health struggles come in many different forms. It can be in the form of anger, depression, anxiety, drug addiction, panic attacks, etc. And for a lot of people, it's just really difficult to deal with these things if they don't have a good support group or anyone to talk to be able to help them out. They'll just bottle everything up until it gets released, be that as a form of self-harm or even worse, suicide. But it can also just be let out at all the other people around them, causing them to potentially push others away from them. Mental health issues are not easy to deal with in the slightest, but there are many different ways to safely show how it affects us without hurting yourself or others. Music, like what the band Citizen Soldier does, writing, drawing, going to church, etc. There's just so many different ways to be able to show how mental health is affecting you, and there are other outlets to be able to show how it's affecting you as well, like even just going to therapy can help you out. Coming up are some testimonials from people that I know in my personal life that have decided to share with all of us here their stories about the mental health issues that they've struggled with and how they've personally been able to deal with them. And at the end of this, I will be revealing my story on my mental health struggles as well.
Hi, I'm Doug. I've dealt with depression since I was a teenager. Got pretty bad at times, but for years and years, I refused to get help or take any kind of medication. I had watched what my mother had went through and saw some of the side effects of medication that she took, and I didn't want any part of it. I also thought that because I am a Christian with a very strong faith, I thought that I would never need anything if I believed well enough and prayed hard enough. My faith should take care of it. Of course, as I got older, I just realized that, you know what? People with faith have problems too, and mental health problems aren't that much different from physical health problems. You know, they're a result of things that happen within your body, whether it be a chemical imbalance or whatever it is. So finally, when I saw my kids in their teenage year going through similar issues and refusing to get help because I never had, I started seeking help to set the example for them, and actually it's probably the best thing I ever did, because there have been medications that evened me out and made it much easier to deal with. I'm not worried about dealing with it anymore, or getting so tired of dealing with it. It's manageable now, and so it's been okay.
Hi, my name is Harlan. I've suffered from mild depression as far back as I can remember, at age 8, when I was diagnosed with insulin-dependent diabetes, and essentially told that I was going to be dead by the time I'm 30. Didn't happen. I'm a little older than 30 now. But occasionally I go up and down with depressive episodes that are mild, almost undetectable to most people. I believe many people have the same mental health issues with depression. My cycle is, at this point in my life, every 2.5 years. Very long cycle of ups and downs. But it's gradually evened out. I found that my own mental health, I've had counseling, I've had lots of ups and downs in my life. I've had drug addiction issues, and I've had marriage failures, kids living thousands of miles away. Lots of reasons why I should be depressed, but none of them have really taken me all the way down. I've dealt with it throughout my life, and I think my mother started me on volunteering when I was 14 at Augusta General Hospital. By volunteering, by giving of myself to others, serving others, with no expectation of repayment or anything, has brought me my mental health state into a better place with people, with being with people. My worst depressive mental health states are when I'm alone. The key for me, and maybe for you, maybe not for you, the key for me is people involved in my life.
Hi humans and non-humans, I am Arrow. I'm the founder of Condensed Cakes Meeting. You've probably recognized me. I've been on this channel 2 times now. And yeah, I'm here today to talk about mental health awareness. I still don't really know what to even say because it's so... mental health, it's such a big topic. Let me I guess tell you a little bit about like my life, I guess. I was assigned male at birth, and you know, growing up in the 90s, I now make the joke that was growing up in the 50s with technology, because there was still a lot of those extreme stereotypes, I guess you could say, like, you know, men had to do this and women had to do this, and it was just that kind of life, and it racism was worse, and just everything was just worse. And so yeah, I was as a little boy, I was told to not feel my feelings. Essentially, I need to just bottle them up and suppress them and just be a man and and it doesn't fucking work, okay? Like, you shouldn't repress the shit hand that life has been giving you. You should recognize it and work with it, to be honest. I read a book once about depression that said that when you're in a depressive state, work with your depression. Like, if you want to watch Netflix, you know you're supposed to do something else, but you want to watch Netflix, go ahead and watch it. And then the moment you get bored with a show, change it. And then the moment you get bored with that, change it again. And if you want to play a game, play a game. And then if you want to cook, get up and cook. If you don't want to do the dishes afterwards, don't do the dishes. Or maybe only do some of the dishes. So, as I get older, you know, like... I'm going too fast. As I'm getting older, as you know, into my teens and stuff, I'm still repressing these emotions. And then by time in my early 20s, I'm just fucking pissed off, angry at the time. I'm pissed off at the world. I'm pissed off at myself. I'm pissed off at everything that's been handed to me. I wasn't in a healthy state. And I started seeing a therapist, but I wasn't telling her everything. Because, again, men are supposed to repress their emotions. One of the first steps in realizing that you have depression, or you have anxiety, or you have anger issues, is to recognize. Once you learn to recognize it, it doesn't all go away. But the weight, just, a lot of it goes away. Because I guess, for me at least, I recognized that better days were coming. Or at least I was gonna be more in control of those days. And like, I still suffer from depression. I still suffer from anxiety. I have really gotten my anger pretty well good. So I think it was when I was 26. I was working at a grocery store, the same one that Pitiful Alloy used to work at. And like, I remember realizing that I was angry. And the moment I realized that I was angry, the anger disappeared. I just touched my makeup. Oh no! So I guess in ending my segment, since all I did was go off about recognition, that's my advice I can give you, is that when you recognize that you have a problem, then you can go seek help. You can go seek a medical professional, or maybe, honestly, you can go seek a friend. And who knows, maybe that friend needs help, and they don't even realize it yet. So, go check out my music. Love you guys. I'll probably see you eventually again on this channel.
Alright, so that was everyone else's testimonies on their struggles with mental health and how they are able to cope with it and deal with it in their everyday lives. Now, as promised, here's my personal struggles with mental health. For people who are new to my channel or haven't really watched like my Citizen Soldier reactions or video that I did at the very beginning of 2021 talking about 2020, then you guys, so back in 2020, I attempted suicide on at least 3 different occasions that I personally can remember. I have a lot of memory gaps with 2020 as well, so I'm saying 3 because that's what I personally remember, and also once back in 2019. And I don't really personally want to get too much into what the one back in 2019 was, because that's something that was and still is very personal to me. But when it came to 2020, I was just feeling so down. Everyone around me at the time was telling me that oh, I had no reason to be depressed, I'm just faking it for attention, there's nothing wrong with you, man up, etc., etc. And it brought me down to the lowest I've personally ever fucking been, again, to where I attempted suicide. And the day I had attempted it for the very last time was actually the day that Citizen Soldier dropped their song I'm Not Okay. And ever since that song first released, that's what's helped me start wanting to try to be in a better mindset, especially since I moved back up here into Maine, because part of the reason down in Florida my depression was acting up is because I really didn't have a lot of friends to be able to hang out with at the time. And yeah, hang on, Bluebell. Yeah, and when it came to everything down in Florida, like I said, I just didn't have really anyone to hang out with, so I had to spend a lot of time by myself, where I was just festering in my own thoughts and feeling like I wasn't good enough for anyone, and that's why I didn't have anyone to hang out with. At least that's how it was in my mind. And while I did have things to help me through it, like this little demon down here, Bluebell, I had her. And I've always told myself that I'm trying to stay alive and trying to keep my mental health better for her, because I've raised her from a week old, and she's my little baby girl, and I don't want to leave her behind. But it had just gotten so bad to where I felt like I didn't have a choice. I really felt like I didn't have a choice. And mental health does not get any easier to deal with the older you get, or no matter how young you are. It is not easy to deal with. But if you have a good enough support group around you to be able to help out with your depression, with your anxiety, with any other mental illnesses that you have, like me personally, I have clinical depression, severe anxiety, along with social anxiety. I have borderline personality disorder, split personalities, and honestly, from what a lot of people have said, and I'm starting to think it's true as well, potential bipolar disorder as well, especially with how quickly my moods can change. But as long as you can have a good support group around you of people to help you with stuff like this, then it makes it a lot easier to be able to deal with it. Like, I have my friends here now, and I have the church that I go to, East Orrington Congregational Church. Everyone there has always been very supportive and are always willing to try to help out anyone that they possibly can. And all you really need to be able to help with depression, and any other mental illness, other than obviously feeling comfortable enough to be able to seek therapy, is just be able to have a good support group around you to be able to help you with it. Just being able to have people that you feel comfortable being able to talk to about all this stuff. And if they really care for you, then they will listen, and they will realize if there is anything that they can or can't do to help. Because sometimes all that you need is just someone to be able to talk to and listen to. Even if they can't do anything physically to help you, even them just sitting there, just listening to you, whether face to face, over the phone, a Zoom call, whatever, just as long as someone's there to listen, that is sometimes the best thing that someone can do for someone suffering with mental illness. And that's honestly how I've personally been able to cope with everything, and why my mental state has been able to drastically improve over these past 6-7 months. But seriously, thank you everyone for helping out with this video, who gave testimonials. Thank you for helping out with this video, and I really hope that this video was able to help someone out there. That was the whole purpose of this video, to hopefully be able to help someone. Thank you. Love yourself. Have a good night. I hope that all the testimonials in this video helped bring light to other people's struggles with mental health and what they've been able to go through. That was the entire point of this video. In the description down below, I'll put resources for suicide hotlines and everything down in the description for anyone who's really struggling and needs someone to talk to. And if you need anyone to talk to, feel free to join my Discord server and reach out to me and my community on there. We'll be glad to help you out. And just reach out to family, friends, anyone who you think would be able to help you out through all of this stuff. And just remember, no matter what your struggles have been with mental illness, no matter what you're going through, just keep on fighting the good fight. It's okay to not be okay. Your story is not over yet.